We eat 3 times a day, 21 times a week, and 84 times a month. The past year, I chose comfort and convenience and totally neglected my health. And I was starting to notice how tired and sluggish I felt. I've been transitioning into a healthy diet since April, and this is how it went. To be completely honest, having an option to eat healthy is a privilege and something I've been taking for granted. My goals for eating healthy is to feel more energized, have strength to work out, and not die from cancer. One important thing to note is that I don't live alone anymore. I moved back into my parents' house because of the corona bitch, and I didn't want to disrupt my family's eating habits, so I adjusted things around what they ate. This is what breakfast, lunch, and dinner usually looks like in my family. Lunch is when I usually cook something for myself and to try out new recipes. Dinner is almost always eaten with my mum and dad. It's Korean food with soup and side dishes with rice. This is a stalk mic inspired by juice. It's really hard to find some of the ingredients in Korea, so things like spices and imported ingredients are only found online or sold at a ridiculous price. So I had to be smart with the recipes I picked. I actively tried not to think about calorie restriction and skipping meals. 2 years ago, I developed an eating disorder that took me over a year to recover from. So instead of cutting out unhealthy foods, I had the mindset of expanding what's good for me. I started by adding a side of vegetables to every meal. At first, it was a bit of mushrooms and tomatoes, a small salad on the side, and I slowly added more and more vegetables into my meals. I love this Korean sam, which is basically a lettuce wrap. You just feel so energized and full afterwards. It's incredible. I was really looking forward to having more of it the next day, but I woke up with a high fever and felt incredibly nauseous. I immediately suspected it was corona. Till the next day, I took a giant shit and realized I was food poisoned. The meat I had was out of date and it cost me 2 weeks of chugging cabbage juice that tasted like dog fart. Since I couldn't eat like a normal person, my main meal was soup. I made Laura Vitale's lentil soup, which was so good. I made it again and again and again and again.
Darling, darling, do you know? You know?
Okay, enough of my story. Let's get to the most important part. How can you start eating healthy? I know that there are so many different ways of healthy eating, but it doesn't have to be that overwhelming. I'm going to give you guys 2 super practical and effective tips. First tip, you need to start eating more greens. I know, super anticlimactic cliche advice, but hear me out, okay? Greens could mean a salad, veggies on the side, or this juice recipe that I've been drinking for the last week. I drink it first thing in the morning and it's better than caffeine or protein shakes. I don't have time to use a juicer, so I blitz all the pulpy stuff and strain it. I know, it looks like a lot of work, but you will know why I spend an extra 10 minutes for this shit. It's helped me get through Chloe Ting's hardcore workouts, clear my skin, and feel happier. My second tip is don't meal prep for every single day of your week. This can get boring, and I mean, who likes cooking a bunch of food in bulk? Instead, start a recipe board or book. I have a ton of recipes I've been wanting to try, but rarely did. Each week, I picked 3 recipes I wanted to try and went the extra mile to print out food pictures. 3 of my recipes called for celery, so I sliced them and froze it in advance since they tend to go bad really fast. The reason why this is much more effective is because it allows flexibility for you to eat other things. But when you do want to cook, you have the ingredients and the recipe, so it's this gentle guideline when you don't know what to eat. There has been actually quite a big change in my life. I started working out for the last couple of weeks, have been feeling a lot more energetic, like a lot. I'm happier with myself and finally tried recipes I saved on Pinterest 3 years ago. I want to remind you that this transition took me more than a month, and if this ramen loving slug can change, I know for sure that you can too.